Hello, everybody. We're going to be joined by Mike here in just a few minutes for Disney's Travel Talk with Mike. So, thank you for joining us. Welcome in, everybody. Tap, tap that screen. Make sure you share this live. Follow us. And if you're rewatching either here, if you're rewatching anywhere else that we post this video, make sure you like the stream and hit the follow button. There he is. Hello.
How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great.
Good. All right, let me put this on Discord. How's your day been?
It's been outstanding.
Oh, you've been outstanding on the dock. That's the that's the only thing that I ever think of whenever I hear see Floro. Hello, hello. Hi, Robbie.
Robbie with the last minute questions for tonight.
Really? All right, hold on. Last minute. So now there's like surprise things I don't know that we're talking about.
I go through life not knowing what I'm talking about.
All right, well, if you can do it, I can do it. Hi,
Hey,
Caitlin.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, Unicourse. All right, continue tapping the screen while I'm sharing and putting this on Discord. I do have a Discord, everyone. So all these topics that we have tonight, plus some extra that we get in the chat, we do post them, or I should back up. You can go on Discord and pose your question, and we will do our best to answer it during these Thursday night talks. Hey, Megan.
Yes. Hey, Megan. So yes, we build our agenda around the questions that are submitted ahead of time, but we welcome your questions during our chat, and we will answer them as best we can.
Thank you, Megan. I just kept it from like my park stream, so yeah. Okay, what am I doing? I'm posting it on Discord, and I got distracted talking about Discord. That link is in the bio.
So I'll keep talking while you're doing that. So like we said, in Janelle's Discord, hey Ronnie, in Janelle's Discord, we have a page that you can submit your topics or questions, and we build that into our agenda for our Thursday night talks. At times, if we don't have questions, we will come up with subject matter to cover. In addition to that, I tend to recap what we talked about in Discord after the fact. And then some of what we cover on these live calls, we actually put in our monthly newsletter. So you have multiple options to see or hear about it. And then Janelle typically reposts these lives on YouTube.
That will be on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. They will get reposted. Hello, Scuba. Hello, Ronnie. And thank you for the heart me. Thank you, everybody, for tapping the screen, and let's see how many friends we can get in here with us.
We have a lot of friends right now.
Oh, and we're gaining.
Hey, Jules.
Hi, Jules.
Triple digits. Woohoo.
All right. So, I already asked you how your day was, but if nobody heard, Mike is outstanding.
Yes, I was. I'm now inside sitting for this, but I was outstanding.
Hi, Tasha.
Tasha?
Yeah. Listen, you can't pass up a corny jungle cruise joke. So we should end the live with "Get out!" Just get out, everybody.
Yeah, we'll try that. We'll see how it goes for next week's live. It'll be just me and you and nobody else.
They don't understand our humor.
Yeah. Well, nobody understands me. That's pretty clear.
Oh, there were no toy
Oh,
soldiers.
that's too bad, Jules. We had that experience on the second of the two parades.
Yeah.
Scuba will be back.
Thank you.
But,
I knew you would get it, Scuba. I had faith in you.
I'd be back. I said I'll be back.
Did you think he was doing like Terminator?
Yeah.
I'll be back.
I have an eye appointment in a couple weeks. Clearly, I need to go.
It was because of the rain. Did you have Snope? That'll be the next question.
And see, and that's the funny thing with us, Janelle, because they didn't do Snope the first parade because the ground was too wet, but we had soldiers. The second parade, it was dry as a bone, and we had no soldiers, but we had Snope. Nope on the Snope.
Well, you know what, Jules? You have to go back. Hey, Norma.
So Robbie said he would like to see gingerbread houses. So Robbie, I will commit to this. For next week's live, Janelle will have a gingerbread house that she's made sitting there in front of her.
We can make note too that we have already discussed that we will be doing this live on Wednesday and not Thursday of next week.
Yes.
Due to schedule conflict. How much is shipping? It's not free, Robbie. Hi, Tina.
Good night, Sophie. See you, sweetie. And hi, Tina. And so we'll wait on Unicorse's question since she's got to put Soph to bed.
Okay. You can hear my voice. I don't want to talk about it. It's probably just allergies. If I'm coughing or sneezing, it's just allergies.
And I think we've tested this out. You are not contagious over the live.
No.
Good.
I do need some of that infused honey, Robbie. That should be some gingerbread and honey with tea would be good.
I hear you, Jules. Robbie, I need confused honey. It's different, but that's what I need. See, I can just keep going with the Jingle Cruise stuff.
Yeah.
Just rolls right off the top of my head.
All right. Well, let's move on. What are all of our topics for tonight? Because I feel like we went
I'll roll through all of them, and then we'll figure out the order here since Unicorse had to step away. But hers were the first 5. She wanted us to talk about the best kid resorts, the best adult-only resorts, any resorts that have special food or special menus that are unique. She wanted us to talk about Tri-Circle D Ranch and horseback riding, all the horse options. She pointed out to me that Disney announced the start dates for Flower and Garden next year, so we can talk about that briefly. And then Robbie, last minute Robbie, wants us to talk about park hopping rules starting January 9th, about annual pass holders and reservations. He asked about the maximum number of people per room, and then he wanted to talk about Alani a little bit.
It is not 18, I can tell you that.
Nope. So that's what's been submitted, and then I put together a list of all of the attractions at the parks that are no longer in existence. They operated at some point in time. I thought it'd be fun to go through those, and I promise you I'll miss some. I'll probably go through all the Magic Kingdoms, and somebody's going to message us and say, hey, what about X or what about Y? And so I did the best I could. And then lastly, I have a list of all of the things that we didn't do last week when we were down there, kind of help illustrate a point that Janelle and I have talked about before on these, and that is no matter how much you plan, there will be things that you just don't get done, and that's okay. So, the moral of that story is don't overplan, because you'll be more disappointed after the trip if you think you're going to get 100 things done and you only get 70 things done. Jules wants to know what happened with People Mover at Disneyland. That's been gone for quite a while. I did not do any research on Disneyland attractions that are no longer in existence. So I can't answer why it's gone, Jules, but you're correct. It is no longer gone. Scuba said 7. I'm not sure what 7 is supposed to mean.
How many people in a room?
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So since Unicorse had to step away, Robbie, you get the pole position yet again this week, my friend. So Robbie wanted us to talk about park hopping and the rule changes on January 9th.
Okay.
You want me to talk or do you want to talk? I feel like I do all the talking and I feel bad after we get done.
Uh, Scuba, was that your lucky number? 7? uh, what was the question?
Holy park hopping rules starting January 9th. And
Well,
we can,
if you have a day ticket, you do not. Everybody can park hop anytime they want, whenever.
yeah, so and Robbie just said for annual pass holders. So that's a little bit of a difference, a little bit. I'll explain why. So Janelle is correct. Anybody, annual pass holder, day ticket person, you could park hop at any point in time starting January 9th. You don't have to wait until 2 p.m. There's a small difference for annual pass holders, and that is you still have to make park reservations. And so therefore you have to badge in with your Magic Band, or your smartwatch, or card. You have to enter the park that you have your reservation made for, and then you turn right around and park hop to somewhere else. So that's the one difference. Oh, thanks, Jules. That's really kind of you. That's the one difference for annual pass holders is that reservations will still exist on January 9th for AP holders. There are going to be I think they call them good to go dates where annual pass holders will not have to make reservations. And in that case, yeah, you can hop whenever you want. No big deal.
It's either go ahead or go. I think it's go ahead or good to go. I don't know.
I like good to go.
Yeah, I like good to go too, but it might be go ahead days. I don't know.
Not gonna,
I could have
it's
just made up go ahead days.
probably
I have my own word system over here.
reservation system just for herself. Go ahead. Let me in. Okay, so Robbie, any other questions on park hopping slash pass holders on January 9th? Was that a sneeze? Bless you.
No, there's I'm clearing my throat.
Let me clean up the screen real quick.
Well, the tickets go up because of that.
Jules, Disney did not. So about a month ago, give or take, Disney made price increases on parking. It went from $25 to $30. They increased prices on meals at some of the restaurants. I'm forgetting what else they raised prices on, Janelle. But annual pass holder rates went up as well, about $50 per person.
Right.
Booking tickets, that price did not change last month. Does that mean it won't change at all in 24? No, it doesn't mean that. But that is one reason why I always recommend book early. If you know you want to go next September, just to throw a month out there are no promotions out for September. Book now, put your $200 down, you're locked in. You cannot have to then pay more than the agreed upon quote because they raise prices if you've already booked your trip. If a promotion comes out and your trip qualifies for it based on when you're going and that sort of stuff, we can absolutely get you that promotion, and whatever price was quoted will be reduced by that amount. Yes, you're right. Absolutely, Tina. Another reason to stay on property is you don't have to pay to park. And I know we've talked about this too. If you intend on going back to your hotel slash resort for a midday break, on property resorts, you're going to get back to your resort much faster, which means you're going to be able to nap sooner, which means you're going to be able to turn around and get back to the park faster to enjoy more of the fun inside the park. So if you stay off property, if you've driven yourself, Janelle can speak to this a million times over. It takes a long time to get out to the parking lot.
Right.
And then now you're tired and you're driving somewhere that you might not be familiar with because you're not local. And it's just going to take that much more time. If you stay in an off-property resort and they have bus service, it still takes longer to get back because the buses don't run as frequently as they do if you're staying on property. So we talk about this a lot. It's very simple to say it's cheaper to stay off property. If you solely look at numbers, you can find a hotel and stay off property for less. But you have to factor in your time and what that costs you. And if you have to, some of those off property resorts, you have to pay to park there. They have resort fees that you pay, those sorts of things. And all of a sudden, you're nickeled and dimed. And a lot of times you don't know about it until you check out. And then you're like, I really didn't save that much. And I lost a lot of time.
Right.
So we went off the deep end on that. I'm not even sure how we got there. But let's go to Robbie's next one. Maximum number of people per room.
Okay.
Robbie, the answer is going to vary based on the type of room you have or the resort you're in and what type of reservation you have. Now, in the standard rooms at Disney resorts, it's 4 adults or 4 people. You can't try to cram a 5th one in, and it's 4, period. It can't be mom and dad and a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old and a 3-month-old baby. That's not 4, that's 5. So keep that in mind. If you have an infant, that's not going to work. You're at 5. There are some rooms at some of the resorts. Caribbean Beach Resort comes to my mind that they have what's called a 5th sleeper. So there's like 2 queen beds, and then there's a pull-down twin bed for a 5th person. There are family suites at some of the resorts. Art of Animation comes to my mind. All-Star Music comes to mind. Those are 2 rooms, and you can sleep 6, and they come with 2 bathrooms, which is nice. Saber, hang on to that question. I love the question. Robbie, there are just a couple of resorts, and I don't remember them off the top of my head, that allow pets at all, but the pet does not count as a human being in the resort room. So if you've got mom, dad, and 2 kids, you bring Rover, as long as you're staying at one of the resorts that Rover can stay at, he doesn't count as a 5th person.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
Hey, Mike, how are you? Yeah, you're welcome, Robbie. And hello, seasonal pop-up shop seller. Good to see you. That's a mouthful. So, Robbie, we'll do Alani here just in a second, but I wanted to go back. So, Mr. Saber asked, what's better, trying to go to the park Skyliner or the buses or minivans? So, the minivans, MINNIE, that look like Minnie Mouse, those are on Disney property transportation that you can purchase, if you will. It's kind of like renting with Lyft or Uber. They are uber expensive, though. They're not cheap. Keep that in mind. I'm a massive proponent of the Skyliner, if you didn't know that. I love that mode of transportation. It's convenient. It's quick. Even when the line is ungodly long, it moves much faster than standing in line for the buses. If you're parents with the little one and they're in the stroller and they're sound asleep, you can roll that stroller right onto the Skyliner as opposed to folding it up to get on the bus. So if you're going to go to all 4 parks, 2 or 4 park days are Skyliner with Hollywood Studios and Epcot. Massive savings of time. You get there faster. You don't have to worry about folding up the stroller. I know I've said this before. When my kids were little, I could fold my stroller like that in a heartbeat until I got right to the front of that doggone bus line, and then the stroller wouldn't cooperate, and I felt like I was holding everybody up, and it was painful to deal with. So my preference would be a Skyliner route. Again, the convenience. I'll tell you, last week we were with Janelle and her husband at Epcot on Tuesday night for Luminous. The place was packed. It felt like New Year's Eve almost, kind of crowds. It was huge. When we left, and this was after park closing, after Luminous was over, Lori and I walked out through the International Gateway to go to where the Skyliner is at. The Skyliner line, by the time we got to the end of it, we were almost at the boardwalk. It was that long. It didn't take very long to get on. It was maybe 20 minutes at most. The line kept moving, kept moving, kept moving. And I appreciate that because you get to the bus line, and even if it's only 20 minutes, you're standing. You're standing, you're standing. And then, I mean no ill will to anybody, but if somebody in a scooter comes up while you've been standing in line for 15, 20 minutes, they're going to board them first on that next bus, and that holds the line up. That's another advantage of the Skyliner. They actually have specific gondolas for handicap use, and they will route those to a little separate queue, if you will, for them to load so that the Skyliner keeps moving. It's really slick, very helpful. I really love that part of it. Now, I will caution two things. One is if you are afraid of heights and you've never been down there, never seen the Skyliner, as much as I'm a proponent of it, I would tell you stay at a non-Skyliner resort for that first trip. When you go over to Hollywood Studios, the Skyliner is right outside the front entrance. You can be right up close to it. You can eyeball and see how high off the ground it is. If you think you might be able to handle it, jump on the Skyliner, ride it over to Caribbean Beach Resort. It's about a 5-minute ride, so you're not in there a terribly long time. See if you can handle it. If you can, then the next trip that you book, stay on the Skyliner resort, in a Skyliner resort. The second thing that I'll comment is in January, usually the 3rd into the 4th week of January, the Skyliner is down for refurbishment. And I know I don't have it with me. I think it's upstairs in my office. We went over those dates a few weeks ago. It's somewhere in the neighborhood of January 19th through the 27th or something like that, where it's down. So if you were staying at a Skyliner resort during that period of time, Disney will have bus transportation to Hollywood Studios and Epcot.
Megan's right. So there's a walking path from Hollywood to Epcot. I know that would not be Robbie's first choice, but there is also the friendship boats that you can take from Hollywood to Epcot, Epcot to Hollywood. So you're correct, Megan.
Then the other thing is, if there's severe weather, if there's lightning, the Skyliner will shut down. And again, then they will get buses fired up to take you to Pop Century or Art of Animation, Caribbean Beach, Riviera, whichever resort you're staying at.
Right.
And I'll comment on this too. The gondolas are not air conditioned. Okay, so don't think that they are. They're not air conditioned. However, when we were there last May, Janelle, what did you think of the temperatures?
They're always fine, and so I thought it was cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're saying in general. Oh, I thought it was hot. I thought it was hot in May, not this time. May. It was hot.
I rode the gondola at 2 in the afternoon with 9 adults, and we all had black shirts on. It was as comfortable as you can imagine. The airflow is very comforting in there.
Mr. Saber, I can answer that question. I have been on the Skyliner with an impending storm, and what they do is they get you to your location very quickly, and they do not load anybody off. When this happened to us, we were going from Hollywood to Epcot. We made it through all the transitions, and they actually had cast members on the ground watching us, like just monitoring the gondolas and probably counting to see where the people were. So they knew how long that they needed to run it until they could shut it off. And because it does stay stationary during a storm. And so they're closely monitoring everything.
And they're not waiting for the storm to be on top of them with
No.
lightning to shut it down. I mean, they're smart about that. They have radars that are looking, and if it's approaching, they will shut it down early.
Flora, you're making a really good choice, and you're gonna have so much fun.
Absolutely.
So
a good time right now, just since C. Flora said that, to get in touch with me either in my bio, if you click on my profile in TikTok, I have my email address. You can email me. There's a quote form there. Otherwise, on Janelle's Discord, is it Discord? No, in your link tree. I'm sorry, link tree. In her link tree, she has a link to the quote form as well.
Yeah, I was gonna let you finish talking to figure out what you were gonna say was in my Discord. Thank you, C. Floro.
Let me dig a deeper hole. I see.
Well, I would say most of the time I'd cut you off and just fill in the blank, and I'd be like, but I was just gonna let you go with it. I'm like, I wonder what's there.
Remember, everybody, at the end of tonight, Nell's the one who's going to say, get out, not me.
Thank you. Thank you, Natty.
Okay, Robbie's last one was he asked about Alani and asked if they have rides at Alani. And the question, hey, JJ, the answer to that, Robbie, is no. Alani is a resort, it's not a park. It's a resort. They've got a number of different water park areas there, pools, things like that. They got splash pad areas for kids. They've got adult only areas. They do some shows. They have characters, things like that. But it's a resort. It's not a park at all.
They have, as I say, characters, Mickey shaped pretzels. It's like you're in a theme park. However, you're at a resort. The ocean is your water park.
Not a park, Robbie.
It's a hotel. And we can check to see how many people can fit in a room there, Robbie.
So, Robbie, I know you were a super fan of the word free. And as you know, a lot of things at Disney World are not free. There's nothing free at Alani. Alani is not a cheap trip by any stretch. Um, they've now they do have some rooms that can hold up to 12 people. It's probably like a 3 room suite kind of thing, but they're pretty pricey, very pricey.
Um,
Robbie,
so going with free and Robbie, because Robbie's here, there is something free right now to pass holders, and I don't know how long it is, but you can get a Wish poster in Epcot at Creations with your pass holder card and ID.
do they like cross you off the list so you can't go back in the next day and get another one?
No, I think it's like a long. I think it's is it as long as this, Robbie? I thought it was pretty big. Like it's a horizontal, like poster ish kind of thing. But maybe it is a postcard. I don't know. No, they scan. Looks like it looks small on camera. I didn't get one the other day, and I should have, but I was like, I don't. What am I gonna do with it? Uh, I forget what they do. No, they do. What do they do? Do they scan? Because they're you have to like with the magnets. Like they must do something because they know that you've already gotten it. So maybe they scan. Oh, they scan your magic band. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, so they scan your ticket. So like if you try to go back, it's gonna pop up like you've already received it. Thank you guys.
Ask me if I'm a pass holder or if I buy tickets each time I go. Scuba, I am not a pass holder. The math on it, first off, if you don't live in the state of Florida, you only have one annual pass option, and that's the Incredipass. I believe it's now $1,449 plus tax, so it comes in somewhere I think just under $1,600. If you factor that against how many park days you need to go based on an average park price, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 or 13 days, give or take. Might be 11, say 11 to 13. Okay, so we would have to ensure that we took at least 2 and maybe 3 trips every year to get in the park enough to make it financially equivalent for us. Like this last trip, we had 3 park days, right? Yeah, 3 park days. And so I'd still have to have 10, 9, 10, 11 more park days in the calendar year to make it worth the annual pass. So that works for you. So that's the hard part because, and Scuba, you know this. I mean, I live in Nebraska. It's either a 21-hour car ride to get there and 21-hour car ride to get home, or it's about a $400 give or take per person airline ticket each time. And so it adds up pretty quickly.
The Incredipass is 1449.
1449, it's probably just shy of $1,600. I'm guessing somewhere in that neighborhood. Um, so the other thing I look at is, let's say I bought one today, and I know Lori's on here, and she would be ecstatic. we would feel obligated to go however many trips we'd have to take to get our money's worth. And you might kind of go into mini debt because of the airline tickets you have to buy, and then food down there, and all this, that, and the other. And I know you get discounts with the annual pass, but the other thing, and I'll openly share this. I think a lot of you know this. Had we invested in passes in May when we were down there, I came back home and the next week I lost my job, and so we would be out that money on the investment of the passes, and certainly at that point in time wouldn't have been able to afford to go down there. So it's a balancing act as to whether it makes sense or not. I think I've said this before. If we lived within an 8-hour car ride, we would have annual passes, no doubt about it. If Disney would offer some of the other passes to non-Florida residents, we'd probably consider getting one of those passes.
Thank you, Joe.
Has Unicourse returned yet? Hey, Joe.
I don't think so.
Get that soap to bed. Let's go. You're welcome, Scuba. Believe me, I'd love to be a pass holder, but at roughly 16 and trust me, there's no way I'm getting an annual pass without my wife getting one.
Right.
She's probably typing right now as I say that because I know she's listening. So you're talking $3,200 roughly for two people right out of the gate before you choose to drive for a day and a half each way or purchase airline tickets.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. Robbie, you're crazy.
I'm going to try to figure out what BOGO stands for from Disney's standpoint in this idea.
Right, right.
It's probably buy one and that's the one you get. Yeah, I hope so, right? Disney has some good promos throughout the year, but never on annual passes. They don't do Black Friday sales or anything like that. I can't even fathom the craziness. Their website would crash on Black Friday if they said they 20% off or 40% off, whatever. They're
Listen,
crash.
we break the Disney internet by trying to pay full price for something. Like, imagine if they put something on sale.
I should be their marketing man. Thanks, Robbie. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. All right, so I'm not going to cover the first four things that Unicourse had, but I think we will talk about the festivals at Epcot real quick.
Okay.
So the Festival of the Holidays is going on right now. It started on, when did it start? Do you remember? November 24th, so the day after Thanksgiving, and it runs through
Yep.
when? It runs through New Year's Eve through December 31st.
Okay. Yep. That's it right there. You got it.
And then there's an 11-day break from festivals. And then what I think has become my favorite festival based on last year, the Festival of the Arts, begins January 12th and it runs through February 19th. I personally like that one, I think for two main reasons. One, so I'll be honest, I thought it was a horrible festival because all I could picture was paintings, that kind of art. And I'm like, that's not my gig. But to see the chalk art happening live in front of you, to see the dude painting something upside down through the course of one song and then being done and spinning that thing around, it blew my mind. It was beautiful. So that's one reason. The other one, and I know we've talked about this too, is that it's short in duration. The Food and Wine Festival felt like it was half the year almost. It's too long. So I like that about the Festival of the Arts.
And all I'm going to say is, how much do we think we didn't see? We didn't see so much of it. We just didn't. I'm going to sneeze off. Hold on. Maybe not. Okay.
All right. Look at the light. That'll help you sneeze.
Now my eye is watering.
Okay. the Disney just announced the opening date for the Flower and Garden Festival. That will start on February 28th. So there's again about a week and a half break between festivals from Festival of Arts to Flower and Garden. They did not announce an end date though, so I can't tell you how long it goes. All I can tell you is in 2023, the Flower and Garden Festival ended on
4th of July.
on July 5th, the day after.
Okay.
Yep,
I
very
was like, I knew it was around the 4th of July.
very good. Yeah, that's a long festival, right? All of March, all of April, all of May, all of June. Those two middle festivals are just.
Yeah.
But the Flower and Garden, at least it's beautiful to see, right? I mean, I've
That's
talked.
what I was gonna say.
The Food and Wine has no optics to me at all. You don't go see and observe things like you do in the Festival of the Arts or Flower and Garden or even the Festival of the Holidays right now.
Um,
Robbie Festival, January 16th. That's right.
so just I'm gonna go back and that just so I can get this. When you were like, when does it end? And I said, right. I was like, felt like Buddy Boyle when he was like, and what is your name? Yes, correct.
I know who Buddy Boyle is. That's part of the laugh floor at the Magic Kingdom in Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
Love that show. I think who did we had Mac and Jeeves, right? I think was the
Mac
who
and
was that?
cheese.
I like when it's Sam and Ella. I think that's
Yeah.
right.
They do not have fake flowers, Robbie. Well, anyways, back. I mean, that I feel like Buddy tonight, so just bear with me.
Hi, buddy. He's your buddy, Buddy Boyle. Unicourse, are you back yet? I'm stalling for Unicourse.
Well, and I was gonna say too about the Flower and Garden Festival and it being so long, about the visual stuff that goes along with it. Those flowers and everything that they put in, like I see why they have to and should give that festival some more time.
Great. And the topiaries are amazing. Yeah. Absolutely.
I want to know with the topiary is kind of like the gingerbread. How long does it take for them to do it, or do they just pick them up and take them to a greenhouse and they just work on them, and they're just sitting there like all done? I would love for that to be a tour, to be able to see like the backside of the topiaries. Hey, Allie, that's amazing.
I'm not spelling topiaries backwards like O2H. Can't do it.
Right.
Lori's stepbrother, who if she's still on, she can correct me. But I think when he was in college, he actually went down to Disney and did horticulture and helped with topiaries and stuff like that. So pretty cool stuff.
I just pictured this greenhouse with all of them in there.
It sits right next to the building that has all of the gingerbread stuff for the gingerbread house. Hey, Brandon, how are you? And hey, that's cool that you saw Neil Patrick Harris. Yeah. I've seen a lot of stuff on social media of a few different celebrities that have been down there. Yep, he did topiary work. Yep. Okay, that's what I thought. All right, so we're going to jump to the last thing on my list, if that's okay with you. And that's to go through the things that last week when we were there, things that we didn't get done, rides or attractions that we did not get to see or do at the park. Okay. So we'll start with Magic Kingdom. We did not ride Peter Pan while we were there. We did not do the PhilharMagic while we were there. And there's a few things I'm not going to say, like I don't have on my list the carousel. I don't have on my list Dumbo. I don't have on my list Janelle's favorite, the Tragic Carpets. So there's just an Astro Orbiter. I don't know that I've ever ridden that in my entire life, actually. Really? Now that I think about it, maybe I have. I don't know. So no PhilharMagic. We did not do Winnie the Pooh. We did not do Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and we did not do the Buzz Lightyear ride.
didn't do Space Mountain either.
Did not do Space Mountain. That's right. I know, Robbie. I love
Yeah.
PhilharMagic.
And I mean, if JJ was here, she would remind us we didn't get to Carousel of Progress either. We were trying to, but we just ran out of time.
There are things I don't have on my list that I forgot that we didn't even do. And you're right. You run out of time. And that, again, is the point. When you plan a trip, you can plan your tail off and have everything that you think you're going to get done, and you're inevitably going to get stuff missed. And that's okay. Don't let it ruin your vacation.
Yes, gotcha. The outdoor elevator. I don't know. Like the rest of stuff in Disney can't stay operational if the weather, if it gets too humid. You think I'm getting on that sketchy elevator, the outdoor elevator?
One thing, though, that elevator doesn't squeak like the carpets do.
No. Well, the carpets don't squeak either now.
That's right. So again, I mean, the point of me making this list was, again, to illustrate the fact that you can have an amazing trip and there are things you won't get done. We were there for, give or take, 7 hours for the Christmas party, and then all day for the next day at Magic Kingdom. And Janelle left after Happily Ever After. We stayed until park closed at 11. And there were stuff we didn't get done. We didn't do. And again, that's okay. Now, my list is shorter at the other parks. Well, technically shorter. At Epcot, we did not do Guardians of the Galaxy. We did get a virtual queue for it, but it was like after we finished eating at Tepanito, and I don't think any of us wanted to hop on that ride after eating all that food. Plus, you get over there and you don't know how long you're going to wait for the ride, and we did not want to miss Luminous.
Bobby, I was at the party like the night before. Yeah, we were, weren't we? Yeah, and then we went Magic Kingdom. Yeah, I don't know. I had been at Jollywood 3 nights before that. I was tired.
Trooper for that 4, 5, 6 day stretch there. Now, technically, my list at Hollywood Studios is really short. It's everything. We didn't go there at all, so I can't really give you a list. But I can promise you, had we gone there, there'd be things we didn't get done. It's just inevitable. At Animal Kingdom, now our day there was shortened. We left there 2-ish, 2:30 to catch a flight, but we did not do Flight of Passage. We did not do Navi, and did not do Everest. We saw Nemo. We saw Festival of the Lion King. We saw the bird show. We saw the thing underneath the tree, Bugs Life. Yeah, we saw all that stuff. But those are the rides that we missed. And then the last thing, that's one thing, but 2 different locations, or multiple. But I totally slipped my mind to go over to the Grand Floridian and see the Gingerbread House. I think I told Janelle this. I've never seen that in person before, ever. In the few times that we've been there at the Christmas time, we just never carved out time to do it. So I was disappointed about that. And then we were at Epcot. We were inside the American Pavilion to listen to Voices of Liberty. Before they sang, Janelle said, over there are the gingerbread houses. And what did we not go do after they sang?
We didn't even walk over there.
Didn't even do it. So I missed out on that. JJ, not a fan of Everest. You need to ride with me, though, JJ. That's the difference. All right, so again, the point of this is don't overplan. And, yes, you're going to have your handful of must-dos, and make sure you get those done. After that, everything else should just be a bonus. The less, in my opinion, and I've been numerous times, and Lori can vouch for this, I used to plan the crap out of our trips. We're going to do this. And I've stopped doing that. The less you plan, the more time you have for the magic to happen. You're exactly right, Robbie. I was in the company of great people. Scuba has not been to Animal Kingdom yet. You're missing out, my friend. It's a beautiful park. I don't care that people say it's a half-day park. Can you get stuff done in half to 2/3 of the day? Absolutely, you can. But it's spectacular. And it's what you want to make of it. There's Gorilla Falls, the walking trails, all that stuff. The Rafiki's Planet and riding back there. We didn't do that last week when we were there. There are so many things that you can do at Animal Kingdom that can make it a full day park. And especially now when the sun sets at 5:30 to see how well it's lit up in the avatar area and to see the projection show on the tree of life is amazing. Uh, yep, I did not. Yeah, well, I wasn't going to go see the snakes anyway, Robbie. Uh, yeah, oh, say I see JJ had one or two must dos. Got it. Okay, so that was
I would say no more than 5 must do's. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and maybe that would be Magic Kingdom and everybody out of the other park and Hollywood. But other than that, like maybe 3, your top 3. And you should come away satisfied.
I was just reading tonight somebody commenting on a social media page about how they their message was the magic isn't what it used to be at Disney. And I mean, yeah, we all know that there are some things that are different now post COVID. I get that. It is what it is, but part of the magic is you helping to make it. Yeah, you're right, Robbie. With lightning lanes, you can get more stuff done. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, that one morning, Robbie and I, we killed it. We had so much time and we got so much done.
And I'll tell you, I'm a huge proponent of rope dropping as well. So we were all at the Christmas party Sunday night till midnight. Didn't get back to our resorts till 1:30. Janelle got home close to 2. Lori kicked me out of bed early the next morning so that we could rope drop. We were a few minutes late, but we still got done Small World, Big Thunder Mountain, and Pirates of the Caribbean by 9:15 or so, something like that. So, so it's a great way to knock out a few of the bigger rides to save you time later. Absolutely. All right, Unicourse, are you back yet? I wonder if she fell asleep.
Yeah, she's not back yet. It hasn't popped up on my screen that she's back.
You want to go through the list of rides and attractions that are no longer in existence?
Or we can go on with her stuff and I don't know. Or and what are her subjects?
Best resorts for kids, best
Okay.
resorts for adults, resorts that have special food or menus that are unique, and then she wanted us to talk about Tri-Circle D Ranch.
Hi, Ainsley. Foot care again, JJ.
Okay, so we can talk about that real quick. I know Janelle and I have talked about this before, and everybody's different, right? So exactly what I say might not work for everybody. Janelle might feel differently in some ways, but I like to tell people bring at least two different pair of shoes when you go down to Disney, and they don't have to be two different types, right? I'm a tennis shoe guy, so I bring two different pairs of tennis shoes, but they're different brands, so they rub on my feet differently. That way, if day 1 in the park I'm wearing shoe A and it starts to rub funny, day 2 I'll wear shoe B, so that where shoe A was rubbing gets a break. The other thing is it rains in Florida. If your shoes get wet, you have another pair to put on for the next day. So I'm big about that. We clearly say this, even though I think Janelle broke this one. Don't wear brand new shoes to the park. Don't break them in at the park. Now, that's not fair to Janelle because she's a local. She can go to the park and walk for 2 hours and go home, right? But if you're on vacation and you're going to spend the entire day in the park, do not bring brand new shoes with you. You're going to be hurting for certain, no doubt about it. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, going back to the 2 pairs of shoes and the shoes that you've been wearing for 6 months at home. JJ did that exact thing and she got a blister. Aside from the rain, it's humid. You might get wet on a ride and or your feet swell, which then causes your feet to rub the shoe differently than when you were just sitting at home, walking around the grocery store or taking your nightly walk when it's nice and cool outside. So there are not just rain and reasons why there's so many, and you should, not always think that Oh, I've worn these shoes so long, nothing's ever happened. Something can happen.
I know we talked about this too, that a 1 mile walk at home is not equivalent to walking 1 mile at Disney. It absolutely isn't. So whatever wear and tear your feet take on walking a mile or two at home in your neighborhood is, tenfold at Disney. If you're a tennis shoe person like I am, again, it rains, your feet sweat, whatever, throw an extra pair of socks in your bag so that midday you can just change socks out. Your feet will appreciate it. Absolutely. Um, Pack moleskin. I don't think I'd even heard of it until May when we were there, and Lori told me about it, and that was the best thing ever. That will, and don't wait until you have a blister to put moleskin on. As soon as you feel your shoe rubbing in a certain spot, boom, get that moleskin out and put it on. It will save you significantly. I had probably 3 or 4 blisters when we were there in May. I had 0 blisters when we were there last week because as soon as I knew where my shoe rubbed, I put moleskin on right away, and I kept it on the whole time. Take
And
take advantage of the first aid stations in the parks as well.
I was gonna say they will give you a little piece of moleskin as well, which is I think how Lori even found out about it. Correct?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And we went just before we met you guys at Guardians. We
Yep.
stopped at the first aid.
Probably the massage chairs are not going to help you with your shoes, but they are great. I think no, I won't say that. I don't know if like the Grand Floridian has them, but yeah, the Contemporary does have massage chairs.
Most of even the value resorts do. They're
Okay,
typically in the arcade, but they have them.
okay, maybe that's where they are at Grand Floridian.
Yeah, and you're right. They're not doing anything to your feet, but besides my feet, my calves get so sore from the walking, and so those massage chairs will help with that. Yeah, you're not going to have a masseuse is not going to rub out your blisters. That's for sure. You might be the first spa guest escorted out at the Grand Floridian asking for a blister massage. All right. So I don't think Union Course is back. We can go over the attractions that have closed down and then catchers at the end. Hi, Jill. As I did this research, there are rides I forgot about. There are even some rides on here that they opened and they closed before the first time I was ever at Disney.
Okay.
And I was at Disney in 1976, and the park opened in 71. So pretty amazing. So these are in no particular order, but I have them grouped by park. So we'll start with Magic Kingdom. They had a ride called If You Had Wings. It opened with the park in 71. It closed in 87. It was sponsored by, back in the day, Eastern Airlines. Yeah, and it was a dark ride in Tomorrowland. When it closed in 87, it was replaced by a ride called Dream Flight, sponsored by Delta. Then it was renamed Delta Dream Flight. Then it was renamed Disney's Take Flight. And then in 1998, it was rethemed to what is currently Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin.
Okay.
I think this one is one that a lot of people are familiar with, the Extraterrestrial Alien Encounter. It was open 1995 to 2003. That is across from Buzz Lightyear and Laugh Floor.
Yep. Where Stitch is now.
Was the next ride in that same place. That was open from 2004 through 2018.
Okay.
So these closures make you cry? Is that what's happening here?
Yeah.
Are your allergies bugging you that bad?
Oh, my eye is watering.
Man. Okay. They had a ride, an attraction called the Timekeeper from 1994 to 2006. It was an animatronic film hybrid show, and where it was is now where Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor is at.
Okay.
So while I'm reading this, Janelle, you're going to have to watch if anybody asks questions or comments because I'm going to miss them.
I gotcha.
Another one that I think a lot of people were familiar with at one point in time, either did it or heard about it, was 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It was an original park opening in 1971. It ran all the way until 1994. It was in Fantasyland. And what sits there now?
Ariel. And do you want to know a fun fact about it?
No, we don't. Thanks for asking.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Um, they took water from uh, the original ride and they added it to Under the Sea so that it could always live on.
Yep. Right. But they had a heck of a lot of area to fill in with dirt before they
They
built.
did, but they put the water back in.
Okay. So this next one was called Flight to the Moon. It was outdated the day it opened.
Okay.
Disney admits it opened in 1971, Park Day opening, and it closed in 1975 before I was there for the very first time. It was converted to a ride called Mission to Mars, which then closed for good in 1993. Another very popular one that a lot of people to this day are still upset that it closed, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Again, a park opening, 1971. It ran through 1998. Isn't that amazing that it's been closed 25 years and people are still pretty fired up about that one being closed?
Right.
Amazing to me.
And that was where Winnie the Pooh is. Is that, do you know? Is that correct?
Correct. Close by Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Snow White's Adventures. Robbie, if you're still listening, there used to be a Snow White ride, 1971 through 2012. And do you know what occupies that area now?
No.
That is.
Go ahead.
I'd say that's Princess Fairy Tale Hall.
Oh, okay. But so Mr. Toad's and Snow White, you can go to Disneyland and ride.
You just can't see Janelle if you do that, though.
You can't what?
They can't see you if they go to Disneyland to ride those.
Right. That's true. But if Robbie wanted to ride the Snow White ride, he could.
Yeah, both those were kind of dark rides.
Yes, absolutely.
Mickey's Toontown Fair. That's back where the Big Top is now. I was surprised at this a little bit. It closed in 2011. I wasn't surprised about that. It's been 12 years already. It only opened in 1996. I thought it was open earlier than that.
Right.
That's where you did the meet and greets with Mickey and Minnie. You actually went into Mickey Mouse's house and Minnie Mouse's house. It was a really cool area back there. I kind of missed that. They still have that at Disneyland. I agree, JJ. Next one is near and dear to everybody because it's the most recent, Splash Mountain, closed in January of this year. It's amazing that it's been almost a full year since it's been closed.
Yeah. It's coming up on all my old stuff, like how I was riding my last rides.
It's a little surprising too. Splash Mountain did not open until 1992. Unicourse is back, so it's not as old of a ride as I thought. A couple other scribbled notes. Dream Along with Mickey. And I scribbled these last second, so I don't have dates. Main Street Electrical Parade. I know we've talked about that before. People have asked if that's coming back. Wishes was probably I think it was the longest running fireworks show at the Magic Kingdom, and then it was replaced by Enchantment, and Enchantment is now technically gone, although it's coming back on the extended evening hours with a special ticket. So that is Magic Kingdom. So Unicourse, are you able to hang for a while if I finish this list, then we go back to your stuff? This drink's gone. I gotta get another one. She can hang. All right. The list are shorter I think, for the other ones. Epcot will go there next. World of Motion was an animatronic journey through the history of transportation. It was open 82 through 96, and it closed for Test Track. And Test Track's gone through a couple of iterations, and they're about ready to go through a third iteration. sometime in the nearish future. I don't know when. I have a drink. Thanks.
Oh,
Yeah, I appreciate that. Lori was listening. She said she heard I need another drink. She came up to help me out. Journey into Imagination. That is Figment, right? Well,
Yes.
the original Journey into Imagination ran in 1983 to 1998, and then it closed and was re-engineered to what we now have as Journey into Imagination.
Okay.
Universe of Energy. That was 1982 to 2017. That was the Ellen DeGeneres attraction. It closed to make way for what now?
Guardians.
That's right. Very good. Yes, Guardians. Horizons. Travelers went to Advanced Cities of the Future. That was open 1983 through 1999. And do you know what replaced it? Mission Space.
Okay. I knew it was over in that area, but I didn't know if it was that gold dome thing. I don't know what was ever. I've been in that building. There's a like in between Guardians of the Galaxy and Mission Space, there's like a gold dome, and I've been in there for a festival.
That's cool.
So,
I don't know what they use that other than that or not. Next one is, I think you're going to know exactly what replaced it, but Maelstrom's was a Vikings Norway boat ride with trolls, 88 to 2014, and of course that is now Frozen Ever After. Yep. Body Wars was a simulator ride through the body, 89 to 2007. There was a roller coaster simulator called Sum of All Thrills that ran from 09 to 2016.
okay.
Captain EO, that's another one that struck the chord with a lot of people. It had two different runs. It was a 3D science fiction movie. It ran from 86 to 98, closed down for an extended period of time, and reopened in 2010 and ran through 2015. I enjoyed Maelstrom's too, of course. Remember Honey, I Shrunk the Audience?
Yep.
That was a 4D attraction movie. It ran 94 to 2010, and it was replaced by the Captain EO relaunch in 2010. The next three, from 1982 to 1982, so for 1 year, World Showcase Parade. When the park first opened, they had a parade called World Showcase Parade. It was replaced in the same year by Festival of Nations. That ran from 82 to 92. That was a nice parade. And then it was replaced. There was a long gap, but Tapestry of Nations Parade ran from 1999 to 2001. That was a parade that they launched for Y2K, and it was so wildly popular that they ran it through 2001.
Okay.
Loved that parade. That was awesome. It was in the World Showcase. I remember seeing it over by France, Italy, Japan area. Illuminations was, to me, is still the best nighttime show they ever had there. It had a long run. It was replaced by Harmonious for the part of the 50th celebration of Disney Magic Kingdom. And then Epcot Forever was a filler in between those two, and a filler that ran until Luminous started last Tuesday. Okay, so that's Epcot. Hollywood Studios actually has more than I thought. But a lot of these, because of the age of that park, are going to be ones that are probably a little bit more well-known from people.
Okay.
The Great Movie Ride ran 89 to 2017. It was in the Chinese theater, and of course, you know what's there now.
Okay.
Yep. It was closed. People think that they closed it to build Mickey's and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and that's not the case. It closed because Disney lost the contract with Turner Classics, who owned the rights to all those movies in the Great Movie Ride. Studio Backlot Tour was also a 1989 through 2014 ride slash attraction. It served as the main attraction for what was at the time more of a film studio concept, MGM theater, MGM Studios, which is now Hollywood Studios. It was so you went through scenery of different movies and what have you, and went through a building where there were people inside working that were making costumes and things like that. But as the park went away from the idea of movies and the film studio, that ride started to deteriorate, and then they shut it down ultimately. Remember the Honey I Shrunk the Audience playground that they had?
Yes. Thank you, Destin. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So that was a playground.
Okay.
Give me a signal or something. We're gonna do that. It scares me. Remember the streets in New York that they had back there?
Uh-huh.
That streets in New York is where they had the Osborne family lights every Christmas, which is something that I to this day I think was.
It's not me. It's the goal. It's the goal.
They had the Life Motors Action Stunt Show. That area is now part of Galaxy's Edge, as is the streets in New York that all became Galaxy's Edge. That was a really cool show. Going way back, 1997 to 98. This was again when it was MGM Studios. They had. Do you remember the books called Goosebumps?
Yep.
Goosebumps Funhouse was there. I remember that vividly with Kramer, our oldest. He loved Goosebumps. They had a magic show. They actually had him be part of that show. The one trip we were there, so really cool stuff. Now check this out. The next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The next 8 things are all the exact same thing, just different names. And you'll know, as soon as I say the first one, you know what I mean. Well, maybe you won't. The first thing was from 1991 to 92. It was called Dinosaurs Live. It was the first parade at MGM Studios. So the rest of these are all parades. From 92 to 95, they had Aladdin's Royal Caravan. From 95 to 97, they had Toy Story The Parade. The next year, 97 through 98, they had Hercules Zero to Hero Victory Parade. From 98 to 2001, they had Mulan Parade. The longest running one from 2001 through 2008 was called Disney Stars and Motor Cars Parade. From 2008 to 2011, they had the Block Party Bash. I remember that one vividly. They had little mini Nerf balls that were a little bit more than maybe a golf ball in half size, double the size golf ball, something like that. And they were throwing them all over the place, and we'd walk away with half a dozen of them. I remember that vividly. And then the last parade from 2011 to 13 was Pixar's Pals Countdown to Fun.
All right.
Now, obviously, you know, they had the Stormtrooper March that ran down the main street there, and they ended that with COVID. They had some cavalcades post-COVID, and those have now ceased as well there. I think the only thing they do now is with Santa at Christmas. They don't even do that anymore. They used to.
No, last year Santa was there with the reindeer, the same reindeer that are at the Mickey Very Merry, and nope, we don't get that anymore either.
All right, Animal Kingdom. Primeval Whirl ran from 2002 to 20. That was a carnival ride roller coaster back there in the Dinoland area. Journey into the Jungle Book was a show that ran from 98 to 99. It closed down for a new show called Tarzan Rocks. That was a musical show. It ran from 99 through 2006. And do you know what replaced it?
Say it again.
Do you know what replaced the show Tarzan Rocks? It was a musical show from 99 to 2006.
Bugs Life?
Nope. Finding Nemo, the musical,
Okay.
is where that used to be housed. They had a show called Pocahontas and Her Forest Friends that ran from 98 to 2008. It was a family friendly show. Again, I remember that one vividly, and if Lori's still listening, she might chime in. When Kramer was little, he got selected to go up front, and I think Bang on a Drum is part of that show. Really cool. It was replaced by stroller parking. Really exciting, right?
My
Stroller
goodness.
within what was the new Camp Mickey Mini, which I have that on my list here, which is next. Camp Mini Mickey was 98 to 2014. It was a character meet and greet. Mickey, Minnie, the Chipmunks were there. I think Donald was there. Again, remember that vividly. That whole area was replaced with what? Avatar. The whole Avatar area
Okay.
took that over. Um, they had a nighttime show in that lagoon area where there's the
That I've seen.
feeding.
Yep.
Rivers of Light was the first one. You remember Rivers of Light? That ran 16 to 20.
I do.
Okay.
That I do remember.
That was replaced in 2021 with, do you remember what was next?
The kite tails.
That was a short running one. Um, the next one was called March of the Artimals, Artimals, from 98 to 99. It was a parade at Animal Kingdom. They had 98 to 99, again, a short period of time, the Discovery River boats. It took you from point A to point B within the park on a boat, which reminds me, at the Magic Kingdom, I didn't mention that they used to have swan boats that you could ride a long time ago. They used to have a daily opening ceremony at Animal Kingdom from 2005 to about 2015, similar to the morning show that they used to do on the train station at Magic Kingdom. Let's see here. You remember on Kilimanjaro safaris, they used to have Little Red?
The elephant.
Little baby elephant. It was, like part of the whole
So,
about poaching and that sort of thing.
well,
So
so it's funny. No, I vaguely remember. But do you know where Little Red is now? So I learned this on Keys to the Kingdom. When you're on the jungle cruise, at the very end, next to the gift shop, the monkeys taking the pictures. Little Red is right there, and they said that's Little Red.
no, Robbie, Big Red is the chewing gum, not Little Red. So Little Red, as a part of the safari, ran from 98 to 2012, which again, long running. And then the last thing in Animal Kingdom, a parade from 2001 to 14. It ran for 13 years. It was Mickey's Jam and Jungle Parade, another one that we absolutely loved. It was very unique. They had really cool animal-like things that they operated, kind of almost like the dragon in Magic Kingdom's parade with people
Okay.
that swing the tail back and forth. They had things like that, not at that grand scale, but love the parade. I'm a huge parade fan, so I miss the fact that they don't have parades at all of the parks anymore. Anything that that I missed that you can think of? Anybody on the live? Any attractions, rides, shows that I didn't mention?
I wish they would bring the cavalcades back to Magic Kingdom. Like we had it for the 50th anniversary. We had a cavalcade like 3 times a day. As far as Mickey and a cavalcade. And I know we got Festival of Fantasy back, and that's where you get to see Mickey 2 times a day. But like the quick little cavalcade coming through, it was just so much fun.
What do they do? What or 5:30? What's that?
Adventure Friends. No, no Mickey.
That just once?
Yeah.
Okay.
One time right now.
Okay. Again, I know I don't have everything because I just remembered, unless I skipped over and didn't say it. I did. I skipped over it. At the Magic Kingdom from 1971 to 1999, They had the Skyway, which was a ski lift ride that it took you from Tomorrowland to Fantasyland, kind of like between where Buzz Lightyear is and the Carousel of Progress. They used to have a station there, and where the fancy bathrooms are over by Small World Tangled bathrooms. That's where the other end of the Skyway was. So yeah, I skipped right over that one. Yeah, I would agree with that. And of course, the unique characters that you see in Adventure Friends is kind of nice. All right, so Unicourse, you're up next. So she had 4 items for us to go over. Again, those were the best kid resorts, best adult resorts, any resorts that have special food or special menus that are unique, and then she wanted us to talk about the Tri-Circle D Ranch.
Okay.
So I got to take a drink before I can talk anymore.
Okay.
All right. Best kid resorts. So I'm going to name about a half dozen that are good. Now, let's be honest. Any one of the roughly 25 resorts are great, whether you're a kid or an adult. You make it what you want to make of it, right? But for me, if you set money aside, forget about the cost, forget about value, moderate, deluxe, whatever. Art of Animation to me is the best theme resort of any of them for little kids. Whether they love Lion King, they love Nemo, they love Cars, they love Little Mermaid, the theming outside of the resort buildings is just amazing. I absolutely loved it. We were there in May, fell in love with the theming. I think that sets that resort apart from any of the others when it comes to things for kids. I would say Pop Century is another one. While Pop Century is themed by decades, and your 5-year-old or your 10-year-old, hey Brooke, is going to shoot, some of you 20 somethings or 30 somethings that are on here probably have no idea what an 8-track tape is, but they have different themed, but again, to walk through a life-size foosball table or a big wheel that's 40 feet tall, or giant bowling ball pins, whatever it is, just amazing theming. And the pools are great as well for the kids. Caribbean Beach Resort is a moderate resort that the pool area is incredible for the kids. It's got a water slide, and they have smaller pools depending upon which building you're at. So very easy access to swimming pools. But again, the water slide at the main pool there is outstanding. Smaller resort, but again, I think is pretty cool theming wise and kid friendly is Port Orleans French Quarter. And then if you get into the deluxe resorts, to me, the Contemporary from a kid standpoint, solely because as a kid, it's so cool to see that monorail go right through the building. That in and of itself is pretty cool for a kid. You have Chef Mickey down on the lower level right there. Pretty cool experience for kids. And again, when you have little kids, you're a 10-minute walk to Magic Kingdom and back. So being able to take midday breaks with your kids is very simple to do at that resort. You can't go wrong with the Polynesian as well. Pretty cool theming, a lot of great areas, beach areas, things like that for the kids. And then the last one on my list for kid resorts, Animal Kingdom Lodge. Being able to let your kid see animals walking around out in the savannah right beside the resort itself is very unique. I got a selfie with Roger Rabbit. Where'd you get that at, JJ? Well,
I'm
Robbie,
fine, Robbie.
that's why she lets me do all the talking so she can take care of herself. All right. Best resorts for adults only. And again, I can name all 25 of them.
Right.
And some of these are going to be, I just named them for the kids, but they're also great adult resorts. The Polynesian. Yeah. That's right, JJ. Roger Rabbit, right? In Pop Century. That's right. The Polynesian is a spectacular resort for adults. Can be a very romantic setting. They got great restaurants. French Quarter, again, is another one that I would list for adults only as well. The Grand Floridian is spectacular. They've got the spa there. So it's a great, adults only, couples only, whatever. The boardwalk has a ton of nightlife, which is great if you're adults, and you can stay up later than I can. It's a great resort for couples to go to. Coronado Springs, which Robbie just mentioned, is on my list here. Robbie, absolutely beautiful resort. Can be quieter, although they do have convention center there, so at times you can run into conventions going on. The Yacht Club is another one near the boardwalk that's got a lot of nightlife that you can get to. And then the Riviera is just gorgeous. It's one of the newest resorts there. Very beautiful inside, very well themed, and you're on the Skyliner. So I'm going to pause. Janelle, any resorts that I didn't mention that you would add to either of those lists?
No. No, I find it like I would not have put the contemporary, and I know why you did. You explained why you put the contemporary on as like a kids list. But again, it's a convention hotel, and I just feel like there's really nothing, you know, spectacular going on other than the monorail going through. I think it would be more fun to ride the monorail through the building than to just watch it go by. But I see it more as a business hotel than I do anything else.
Okay.
But other than that, no, I mean, I agree. And I think this is a matter of opinion. And I think you can take what you want with it, and you can make any hotel or resort what you want of it.
You're absolutely right. So, a year ago, October, Lori and I were down there for our anniversary. No kids. It's the first time in our life we've been down there without kids. We stayed at Pop Century. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It is what you make out of it. We stayed with Tanner at Art of Animation. Tanner was 17 years old at the time. Disney theming really isn't that important. A 17-year-old, we absolutely loved it. This past trip, again, it was just Lori and I stayed at Pop Century. So again, it's what you make of it. And that's why I said I could pick any of the 25 resorts and probably argue that it's a great resort, whether it's with kids or just adults.
Right.
All right, so the next one that Unicourse had was asked about resorts that have special food or special menus. This one was a tough one. I think. What?
I was going to say, I mean, I think it just depends on Disney and what's going on.
Well, the easiest one of that whole answer is beignets at French Quarters, right? You can't get those at the other resorts.
Right.
So,
Well, and like Dole Whip at Polynesian, you can't get that at another resort.
Robbie, that's on my list actually. You have at the Contemporary, the Riviera, and Coronado, you have rooftop restaurants. That again, maybe not food differences, but from a venue perspective, that's unique. California Grill at Contemporary, Topolino's at Riviera, and Toledo at the top of Coronado. So unique experiences. That isn't necessarily special food or menu, but again, it kind of they set themselves apart from that. Robbie mentioned Sebastian's, so that's at Caribbean Beach Resort. That has a Latin/Caribbean flavor to the menu, which makes it a little bit unique compared to other places.
Yeah, like Sanaa and Boma over at Animal Kingdom. Yeah. Zebra cakes. Zebra cakes.
I heard zebra, but then I didn't hear what came after that. I'm like, did we just switch to animals? At the Yacht Club, they have Ale and Compass, which has a New England comfort food flair to it, which is a little bit different. Whispering Canyon has Western fare from a food perspective, skillets, things like that. Plus, the atmosphere and environment is spectacular. And then the last one I've written down, it's not resort related, but at Crystal Palace inside the Magic Kingdom. That's the only place at Disney World that you can get the Mickey churro waffles. So that sets it apart. I mentioned Toledo. It's at the top of Coronado. I've not eaten there before, Amanda, so I can't speak to how it is.
I've only been to the lounge, and that was very good. And I've heard people talk very highly of Toledo. So it's like California Grill. Great view. Dahlia is the lounge. The view is phenomenal up there. So again, I say romantic, adult-ish kind of atmosphere, but kids can go too. There were plenty of kids when we were there.
I don't know if you've ever been to Topolino's at Riviera.
I have only been in there. I've walked to the balcony. I've done all of that, but I've never eaten there.
Spectacular.
Yeah.
Man, the view is incredible. I think you can see all four of the parks. You can also see Universal from there as well too. I know that. Any restaurants that we didn't mention, or any that you think of, Janelle, that I didn't say?
No.
Okay. All right. So the next thing on Unicourse's list was to talk about Tri-Circle D Ranch.
Okay.
You have more knowledge on that than I do, although I do have pricing information and things like that on the different attractions.
Correct.
Thanks, Buddy Boyle, everyone. Buddy Boyle. Humans.
You missed it. Okay. Tri-Circle D Ranch, you can either get there via boat or bus. Hey, Randy. If you're not staying either at the campgrounds or at the Wilderness Lodge. Tri-Circle D Ranch is located at the Fort Wilderness Campsite's grounds. Thank you, Mark. And it is free to go to. All you have to do is get to the campsites. It does not cost anything to visit. I actually have lots of videos that I need to put together to put a video out there. And there you can do pony rides at the actual barn. So at the barn, you can go and view the horses and ponies, and that is where they house all the Disney horses and ponies. You can also get a little bit of knowledge from it from the show on Disney Plus, the Animal Kingdom show. They do take you over to Tri-Circle D Ranch, and you learn about Cinderella's ponies and how they came about and how they get selected and all of that. But at the barn, they have a wonderful bathroom. If Robbie's still here, wonderful bathroom. I aside from the deluxe restaurants, it's one of the fanciest bathrooms I've ever been in. For a barn, even, too. Yep, Robbie, if you make it over there. But it does close, I think, at around 5 o'clock. It might close at 6, but I think it closes at 5. I'm not sure what time it opens. I'm going to guess 10. And you can take your kids over there, and I say kids because the pony rides do have restrictions to them, but they are fairly inexpensive, and Mike probably has all the pricing on that, but it doesn't cost a lot. And I'm like, you pay to sit your kid on this pony, and then you walk the kid around with the pony. Like, the cast member doesn't even do it, and I think it's so funny that parents are just out there, man, I didn't sign up for this. I thought I was going to have, 10 minutes. But nope, you got to go out there and walk the pony yourself. And your possibility that you could see Miss Gale or Miss Kelly there, because they work there as well. And then everything else, as far as the trail rides and all of that, is at the front of the campsites, like where the parking lot is, where you would rent a golf cart or where you would get on a bus. And that I do not know a lot about. I only know where it is. So,
Okay.
back to you.
So pony rides, no donkeys, no pony rides at the ranch there. It's $10. Your child has to be at least 3 years old. They have to be less than 48 inches tall, and they have to weigh less than 80 pounds. So keep that in mind. I think about that, and good Lord, Tanner could have ridden from the age of 3 to the age of 4, and that would have been it. He sized out after that, I think. But again, $10, and like Janelle said, a parent or adult guardian is leading that horse around with your child on it. You're not doing that yourself.
Yeah. And they provide the helmets and everything for you there.
Janelle mentioned trail rides, so they have horseback riding. It's a 45-minute ride, and it's $65 per person. And then they have wagon rides. The wagon ride is about 25 minutes in length. It's a total cost of $65, and they can fit up to 4 people in the wagon. So if you're a family of 4, $65, you get a 25-minute wagon ride. They do those there. They also have them over at Port Orleans.
That's a carriage ride. Is it the same as a wagon? The carriage ride, not a wagon ride. And the only reason I say that, Mike, is because they do have a wagon ride, which is this really long. I would say it has to fit like 20 or 25 people. And we saw it during the Halloween when we were walking around doing the Halloween stuff.
Robbie, I don't know. There was no reference to any height, weight restrictions for horseback riding, and certainly not for the wagon or carriage rides. You might the horses might look at each other and go, "You're taking him. I'm not."
Their market is like a hay ride, but there's no hay. It's like wooden. It's like one long wooden bench, like if you would picture where hay would go. I would think that people are allergic to hay and they cannot have hay, so they made. No, they have carriage rides at the campgrounds as well. They have all of that. They have the wagon ride, the carriage ride, the horseback riding, and the pony rides.
And you're right. I think the ranch closes at 5 at least
Yeah.
in the fall and winter when the sun sets at 5:30 there. It may stay open until 6 when we're in daylight. It does not. Okay. So it's a short period of time, and obviously probably either a non-park day item, or maybe if you wanted to take a break from Magic Kingdom for a little while, you could hop on a boat and go over there and enjoy the horses for a little while, and then go back to the park.
Yeah. Yep. Florida road trip.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Let me see. I think we covered everything that was sent in. I haven't seen Robbie pop up with any new ones on Discord yet for next week, like he normally does.
Well, if we're done.
Yeah, we could. I mean, we can pause for a moment if anybody has questions in general that we've not talked about tonight, or that have nothing to do with what we talked about tonight. You're certainly welcome to ask.
You're waiting. Okay. We will be doing this again next Wednesday, not Thursday. We'll be doing it 7:30 on Wednesday. If you see my logo, the Disney Parks with Love black logo with the heart, you can tap on that and you can see all the links. Linktree bio. The link tree is in the bio. And once you click on that, you'll see the form for Mike if you'd like to contact him. If you fill out that form, it's going to go directly to his area and he will get it. I don't deal with that. So but I'm just saying he'll get it. It doesn't go through me or anything like that. And then anything else you need to know about me, how to contact me, or any of the affiliates that I'm associated with, it's all there.
Road trip, we did touch on that earlier. The Flower and Garden Show starts February 28th. I think it's spectacular. I mean, another optic thing that's great. The vivid colors of the flowers, the topiaries are amazing. They do that at least this past spring as a part of the Flower and Garden. They had that butterfly exhibit.
Oh yeah, they always have that. They always have it.
JJ, thank you. I appreciate that. That's awfully kind of you. I think this is Janelle's way of saying she's allergic to me. It took a while, but it finally kicked in.
3 months, about 3 months, Florida road trip.
I wish it was only 3. It's over 4 months in length.
Oh, okay.
It will go till about the 4th of July, give or take a few days. They've not announced the end date for 2024's festival.
Thank you, Robbie.
Thanks, Robbie. Always appreciate your stuff that you send in to us.
I know Benadryl is not going to help that, but I'm going to go take a Benadryl and go to bed.
Yeah, JJ, I can't promise that I can do that for everybody, though. Yeah, I was going to say, if you do fill out that quote form through Janelle, Janelle doesn't see it. She has no idea. I don't share with anybody who I'm booking trips for unless they share it or they tell me that they want me to tell anybody. That's your business to share with people.
Congratulations on the road trip. Yeah, like that's why I said I don't see anything. So your information is not going through me and all that. So just want to make that clear.
No, I made it very clear that the year 2024 is going to be the year of no surprises.
Yep, absolutely. Just let me know, and I'll be happy to see ya.
I've already given Janelle my dates for next year, so there's no surprises there. Yes, I'm a very good secret keeper. That's right.
Hi, Katie.
Katie, welcome in. How are you? All right. So again, try to start to ramp down here a little bit again, as Janelle said. Next week's, yes, it's your turn to come next, Katie. Next week we will do travel talk on Wednesday night, which is I don't remember the date next week, 20th. The 20th of December. Next Wednesday, 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern. We'll do our travel talk then. There will be no travel talk on Thursday. I don't know if we're going to do one the following week or not, Janelle, in between Christmas and New Year's. I think we talked briefly about it, that if people are interested and want to join, that we'll go ahead and do one. So we'll have that.
Yeah, Brooke.
Oh, don't challenge me, Brooke. I bet I could surprise Jill more than just twice.
Probably.
And then our first 2024 travel talk will be on Thursday, January 4th. And I think we'll have some exciting stuff to share then. I can already tell you one topic that we will cover that night is all of the changes happening on January 9th. And I know we touched on those earlier. Park hopping changes, park reservations. We'll cover all of that again on the 4th. Yes, January 4th, Katie, 7:30 Eastern. We'll have exciting news to share with everybody. It will blow your socks off. Or maybe not. I don't know.
Or they could be really, really disappointed. I don't know what he's trying to tell y'all. I agree, Mark.
Take a page out of Disney. We're going to overhype the heck out of this thing.
No.
And then we're going to reveal Tron on the 4th of January. No, I think it's exciting. Janelle thinks it's more exciting than I do, though. She just holds back her excitement better than I do.
Let me cry. Yeah.
Yes, that's right, Mark.
Correct.
Yes. Yes. Your credit pass is in the mail, Mark. Don't worry about it. Katie, I don't know what you think it is, so I can't tell you it is what you think it is. Uh, yeah, Brooke's break starts tomorrow. Good for you, Brooke. My break starts tomorrow at 5 o'clock and then ends Monday morning at 7.
Figment Hotel. I love that.
Pam just got on. She wants us to recap everything. The Figment Hotel. Katie, you just stole my thunder. Dang it. All right, so Pam, in 1 minute or less, I will recap everything we covered. Janelle can start the clock. We talked about best resorts for kids, best resorts for adults. We talked about resorts that have special food or menu items. We talked about the Tri-Circle D Ranch at Fort Wilderness, and all of the horseback riding and things like that. We talked about Festival of Arts dates. We talked about flower and garden start dates. We covered park hopping for annual pass holders starting January 9th. We talked about reservation systems still in place for pass holders. We talked about the maximum number of people that you can have in rooms. We talked a little bit about Alani. We covered all of the rides and attractions that I did not get to do last week when I was there. We talked about all of the rides, shows, attractions, parades that are now extinct at the 4 theme parks at Disney World.
15 seconds.
What?
15 seconds.
15 seconds left?
Yeah.
Oh, well, shoot. We answered a few questions that people asked. We talked about the fact that next week we're going to do our travel talk on Wednesday night at 7:30 Eastern instead of Thursday.
You went over, but you're excused.
Well, be honest. You thought there was no way in the freaking world I was going to get done in 1 minute.
I was like, I cannot wait to cut him off. I was like waiting.
She wasn't waiting. She was hoping.
All right, you guys. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Not to cut everybody off or Mike off. I'm not doing that. Katie, I would go contact Disney before you just start throwing all these ideas and they take it from you.
So, Katie, I will tell you this much. The special announcement we have on January 4th has nothing to do with Figment.
It doesn't.
Still, please join us.
You want me to? Yeah, cut Mike off, please. See? It's being requested. Get out.
Please, Mark. I thought I told you to block that clown. Come on now, Mark. Thought we were friends. Yeah, Katie, you can keep trying, sweetie, but I'm not going to be able to help you with anything Figment related with our announcement in January.
Oh, that is amazing, Katie.
I like the name. That's awesome. All right, let's wrap this sucker up, Janelle.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We have a little over 20,000 likes. Thank you so much, everybody, for tapping the screen. You guys did better. Brooke, no one knew, so don't feel bad.
It's crazy.
Say it again.
So I only showed 13.8 thousand likes.
Mine too, but it's stuck. I can see it on my phone, and we are at 20.7. I don't know why ours is stuck. So, with that being said, again, any information that you need about me is up in that logo. Mike Disney Travel. Follow him for any information that you might want on travel, or if you want help with your travel to Disney, Universal, or nowhere else.
But yes, all of the Disney resorts, Disneyland, Disney World, Alani, Disney Cruise. She mentioned Universal. I can help you with all that.
all of that is in both of our little circles. So tap that and you will find what you need. And we love having you guys here. And we thank you for interacting with us and keeping us busy with the questions. And again, Discord, if you want to have a question or if you just want to reach out and you don't want to be here because you just want to watch and listen to us talk, feel free to email us and we will do our best to get you an answer.
Our newsletter will come out at the end of the month, around the 28th, 29th, 30th, something like that. Well, we have 2 more travel talks between now and the end of the year.
Okay.
Awesome. Janelle, take care of yourself. Get some rest.
I am.
Feel better. It's supposed to be miserable down there, I think. At
Yeah.
least for sure. So
Saturday and Sunday.
stay safe, stay healthy.
Thank you.
Parks will be there when you get there, so don't feel like you have to kill yourself to get there.
I will. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right. Bye.